Hello everyone, we are here, we are live, we are ready to go, and by ready to go, I do mean we are launching right now. And it's off, that's good. And so, just to explain, I thought I'd get right into this. This is the Minmus 5C. You have experienced the Minmus 5 before. In fact, by the C, you can tell this is the third one. The first one had some launch staging issues that didn't even get out of the atmosphere. The second one successfully landed on the moon, but had a staging mishap and was only partially successful, so I thought I'd fire another one on its way out to the moon to try and do it again. And as for the mission is that this thing has a materials bay and a goo aboard. It's to land on the moon, collect those things, as well as some other science as well, and then return the materials bay and the goo back to Kerbin, because with the Kerbalism mod installed, you have to deal with samples. You can't just simply transmit them back. But I thought I'd just get started right away. We are, of course, launching at, we're on our way to Minmus. We are launching at the equatorial descending node for Minmus, and we are launching into a 6-degree inclination so that we'll match Minmus's plane, and that's why we are also launching at night. But I think the sun will be coming up pretty soon. Okay, we just nerfed the thrust. Actually, I'm going to take this opportunity as well to welcome aboard my newest patron, Matthew Gardner. Usually I do this during the tutorials, but as my tutorial series is on a summer hiatus, I thought what I would do is just start doing these during these live streams, and then I get these names out quicker as well. So Matthew, thank you very much for your support on my Patreon channel, as well, of course, to all of my patrons that help me keep this channel going. All right. Hello, Dan. Welcome. Good to see you. Okay. 40 kilometers. Should be locking on to prograde. I did make one bit of a change that will be, I'll point it out as soon as the fairing is gone, which happens at 50 kilometers. But otherwise, this is an identical rocket to the Minmus 5 from... Actually, it was just last stream that one failed, I think. I think it was. I don't know. Take a week off and I forget what's going on. Okay, about to stage the fairing. Ah! Okay, that seemed all right. What I added on to this thing is a whole stack of batteries. All of these Z400 batteries that you see around here are all new. I'm not quite sure what I was thinking. I did not consider the fact that the Minmus night, when you're on the surface, is about 6 hours long. So it did not have the battery power in order to run the experiments through the night. And it does have... Oh, I think we just hit... Yeah, we hit 80 kilometers. It does have aboard a seismometer and the gravioli detector, which take days to collect all of the science that it's supposed to collect. So it needs to run through at least a few nights. And so the Minmus 5 actually has not nearly enough battery power to last through the night, which actually reminds me, if I take a look at the Minmus 5, it's right here. I can go to the, is it under configure? Oh yes, I've turned off all the warnings already, so that is good to know. Let's get back to the 5C. There we go. All right. Coming into our final part of our orbital insertion, and then it's off to Minmus. And then what I plan on doing is actually sending a science lab out towards Minmus, attaching it to the station, because that means that I will not have to keep reprocessing samples all the time. So I thought that would be a fun thing. I also have a contract to put a science lab on the station as well. All right, yeah, and Science Lab will give us a chance to see some more docking. This is coming up in the chat. All right. Actually, I should also show you a notification here. This notification is kind of funny here. It says contract complete. This was an automated sample return from Minmus. The mission was to land on the surface of Minmus, collect some science, and then return said science to Kerbin, which never happened, but the contract did complete. The reason is the predecessor to this one, the Minmus 5B, did land. There we go. We are now done that. The predecessor to this one did land on Minmus's surface, but the return portion of it, which is up here at the top, failed. It was a staging mishap, and this part of it failed, and it crashed back into the surface. But then the Minmus 4, which was collecting goo and materials bay in orbit about Minmus, did return to Kerbin, and I guess the contract got confused. Lucky me. So that's okay. Okay, let's set this up to get to Minmus. This way. Add a maneuver here. Put in the 920 meters per second. Maybe a little more. There we go. And again, we're just going to go just for a regular capture here. Nothing too fancy. Whoops. Let's do that. Oh, actually, I kind of like the way that this is coming up over the top a little bit, because that will give me more options for where we are to put this down. Let's see if we can minimize our burn, though. I can get a little bit off of this. Okay. I'm going to go right like that. It's pretty close to being polar, give us lots of options on which to land. Some of the science that's on this thing is biome specific, so good, good, good. We'll send this thing on its way, and then we'll get going on building ourselves that lab. And the burn is coming up in 24 minutes, so let's get to that. Thank you, Swegwords. I hope I'm saying that right. Swegward says he appreciates the stream. I actually really do enjoy the stream part of it. I wanted to put the tutorial series on a bit of a hiatus just because of the time that it was taking to do them all the time, but I'm very, very happy to keep doing these streams. Alright, this thing's getting itself sorted out. I think the only reaction wheels are in this probe body. This is still, by the way, a pretty old probe design. You can tell by the probe bodies. I do have the Octo 2, but these are what? These are Octo 1s. And the reason is because I took an old moon probe and simply just tweaked the fuel in it to make it appropriate for going to Minmus without changing really much of anything that was in the actual design. That's probably why I had the oversight of forgetting to put the batteries on it. The other one that went to Minmus. There we go. Now, one thing while this burn is going on that is a bit of a concern is if I check Minmus Station, you can see actually that Michael O and Bob, their little heart icons, their happy, healthy icons, have now gone into the orange. And the reason they're into the orange is because they have crossed over the halfway point towards a lethal radiation dosage. They are at 53% of the radiation that will make them lethal. They've been there, frankly, just too long. While I've been dorking around with all these other probes going to Minmus, they've been just going around, round and round in Minmus in the station. The station does have shielding, but clearly, I don't know. I think now that they're over halfway cooked, I think it's time to send them back to Kerbin. So while this thing and then the Minmus station is on its way out to Minmus, I'm going to be sending Michael O and Bob on their way back. Oh, we're getting close to the end of this burn here. Let's see how it finishes off. Been finding these have been undercooking. And most certainly undercooked. Significantly undercooked again. And I'm not sure why. Let's turn this throttle right down. We'll just sort of finish this off a bit with a little bit more. Here it comes. It's not a big deal that it undercooks. I mean, it's better that than the opposite. There we go. Oh, that's beautiful. I'll just go with that. Nice, nice, nice. Close that, close that, close that. Actually, what I should do, whoops, come back, is open up, not that, and run that alignment doobie that I have. Oh my gosh, there we go. And this just aligns it. It looks at the inclination of the orbit that you're in and picks the appropriate way to point the ship for all the solar panels that are aboard. So although we're in the sun's about to come up, there we're getting the sunrise now. It's got things nicely exposed for the solar panels. Okay, we'll turn on alarm clock. And yeah, we'll give ourselves an alarm for the sphere of influence change, which is coming up in just a little over 8 days. And then we will get ourselves back to the Space Center. Build ourselves a science lab module. My kerbals are medium hard boiled. Yeah, they're getting cooked a little bit too much, I think. Kerbals are pretty tough, but yeah. All right, we're going to go into the space plane hangar. I'll explain why in just a moment. There we are, because in the space plane hangar, I have my Minmus station as it stands right now. There's my current Minmus station. And it's nice to build this and put it together in the space and the space plane hangar as opposed to the VAB, because it's easy to scroll left and right, and these things tend to be kind of horizontally built, at least the way I build them. So what I want to do is I want to put on, well, just a lab module. Not like it's a big deal. So what we're going to do is, let's get some docking ports. I also want to send up some, I think I'll stick it on the bottom here. I also want to send up some monopropellant as well with this, because they have actually quite a lot of fuel, liquid fuel and oxidizer, but what they are kind of short of is the monopropellant part of it. Okay, we'll put that on. We're just going to start with just getting the basics of what I want on there. And then we'll add on more as we feel like we need to. So there's that. Okay, and this. So there's the basics of it. I'm going to want to add on some more like that. I do have a contract. I should probably show this if I go to selecting space station contracts. There we go. I got to do, okay, that's the supply run. But this one here, it says launch my first space station. This is my second space station. But this contract's not completed until I've attached at least one science lab module. So that's a big reason why this is on its way out there. So it needs some monopropellant. So what I'm thinking about, let's arrange these fuel tanks by mass. Just, how many's in one of these? Let's get rid of this window. That is, oh my gosh, I can't even tell. This is 80 kilograms of resources. Okay, well, let's see. Right now, there is no monopropellant on this thing. What if I just went here? Put that on, that on. Let's go with that kind of symmetry. Oh my gosh, there. That puts on, it says down here somewhere, 95 units of monopropellant. I think that should be fine. I think there's plenty of it. We don't use a lot of monopropellant out there, but I think this will be good. I'm just going to kind of tuck them in a little bit. This is really not going to be, maybe I'll rotate these this way. Like so. Okay. Now, I should mention as well, for people that are used to stock, Kerbalism changes completely the function of the Science Lab. The Science Lab isn't as powerful with Kerbalism as it is in the stock game. There isn't more science that you can do. What it does allow you to do is when you collect samples, so for instance, the Kerbals go and they land, they do some surface samples, instead of having to return those samples back to Kerbin, you can process them in the lab with a scientist, and it turns that science into transmittable science, so you can transmit it. There's no other science it can do other than working with samples. So that's really its only purpose. And because of that, it actually uses less electricity than the stock one does. This thing uses, somewhere along here, it must tell me how much. There it is. Electricity rate, EC rate, is 1 unit of electric charge per second. The stock one, in stock, the Science Lab uses 5 units of electricity. So if you are building a space station with a Science Lab on it, be aware that this consumes a ton of electricity in the stock game. Not so much here. Now, am I including? Oh, I can do some configuring. Let's look at the configuring here. I definitely want it to have a scrubber. I definitely want it to have pressure control. There's no reason for it to have a water recycler, so we'll turn that off. We can also configure the laboratory experiments. What can I do? Oh, mystery goo. There's no point to that. Materials bathed. Oh, that's it. Okay, there's not much. Not much there. And then we're going to turn on the lab. Yeah, if I enable the lab. Yeah, see here? Here it says 6.03 units of electric charge this thing is consuming per second. And then if I toggle the lab on, that goes up to 7. So this whole station, with everything running, consumes just over 7 units of electric charge per second, and it produces 9.8. So I think I don't even need to add on any more. Well, maybe I should add on. Just thinking, I'm going to add on some solar panels. Where should I put them? What if... I'm just going to play around with an idea. And this might be a dumb idea, but I'm going to play with it. Let's get some structural bits. What do I got for structural bits? What's this thing like? Well, that's a teeny tiny thing. What's this thing like? Here, this guy. No. Let's get a structural tube. Not structural fuselage. Structural tube. Is that? Oh, it's the big one. I want the smaller one. This one? That's still too big. That one. Put you on here. Maybe make it a little longer. Put that back. Get on... two-way symmetry. Build a kind of truss structure coming out. This might be a really dumb idea. I'm literally thinking about this right now. What do I have for robotic parts? You know, I never use the robotic parts. Hang on. Oops. Sorry, my mistake. Click on the robotics. Oh, all I got are... poop. All I got are rotors. Okay. This might... I'm not even convinced. The thing I'm concerned with... Actually, you know what? I think I can do it. Okay. I'm making little sense. The thing I would like to add just a little bit more electricity, but I would like the panels, that looks terrible, I'll fix that. But I'd like the panels to be oriented in the same way as these ones that I already have are oriented, so that they'll all just rotate towards the sun. That's kind of what I'm thinking about, and I'm doing an absolutely brutal job. Now this completely covers the docking port, or doesn't cover it per se, but it does make this docking port much trickier to get to. But what I'm thinking, I'll put them on the next one and take a row off. What I'm thinking is I'll retract these at some date in the future. You know, they'll be on, I'll not use that docking port. This is kind of what I'm thinking. And I think I don't need as long as this is either now. This can be shorter. And I have lost my... It went inside. Oh my gosh. No. Yeah. Ha. Oh, now I lost that. I'm losing stuff on the inside here. There it is. I see it. I see it. I can get it. There. Okay. Flip that over again like that. Like that. That's what I'm shooting for. There. And yeah, when I get, there's a good, it's coming up in, when I get bigger panels, I can do EVAs and install them. I've yet to install the Gigantors and stuff. Actually, maybe that might be, you know, maybe that's a much, much smarter idea, rather than all this nonsense that I'm doing here. Is, I got Kerbals. I keep forgetting Kerbals can do construction. Why not just chuck a couple in here? There we go. There, we'll bring up some solar panels like that. We'll do some EVA construction. That's much more. And then we'll just attach them on the top here like the same with all the rest of it. That is so much smarter. So less dumb than what I'm doing. I'm going to take advantage of still having this. I like this little docking tube here. There, 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 there. That's it. I'm done. That's I'm good. So if I need the extra electricity, I got panels stored in here. Kerbals can attach them. That makes way more. Oh, those panels can't be retracted. Thank you, Zed in the chat. Zed in the chat. Thank you. We'll put these ones on. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Honestly, I'm thinking I don't really. Oh, lights. We need lights, of course. Let's put on some lights. But other than that, I'm really thinking, I don't know if I need much else. I'm going to take this, rotate it this way. Oh my goodness. Okay, every button I'm pushing is wrong. That way. I want to, because I want to install the lights here. 2 of them like that. Make them white. Turn them on. This is just to sort of light up the station a little bit. Thank you for reminding me that those panels don't retract. Maybe roll or rotate them just a little bit this way. That looks pretty good. Just to help to light up the station. That's all this is about. Lights on. They're doing something, right? I can't even tell they're on. Maybe I just need to move them closer. Let's see, up here. That's a better idea. Roll them in a bit. Slide them in a little bit. That looks okay. That's better. Was I turning the blink on and off? I might have been. Okay, so lights like that. I think that should be okay. And then some red and green lights. Yeah, they are going where I want them to be. Okay. About here. There. Those can be white as well. This guy I want to be. I will say that. We'll say this is the left side, the port side. Gonna put the blink on. There we go. And then we'll do this one. We'll remove the symmetry and make that one green. I don't know what you decide is up and down. It's sort of arbitrary, isn't it? I'm feeling I need something else. What texture changes can I get? I think the blank. Well, no. These. No, I don't want orange. No orange. We're already got kind of a. But maybe that might look okay. That means that these should be the gray ones. There we go. And maybe a single. Are there hatches on? We'll leave it. It's fine. It's fine. I think I'm good. We're going to leave it like that. Okay, let's save this. This is our new Minmus station. And what we're going to do is we got to put this into a subassembly. Now, I want this to be the attachment point in the subassembly. So what I'm going to do is put on a... Here, did I saved this, right? Yeah. I'm going to put on another docking port. There it is. Make that docking port the root part. Take this whole piece and throw it away. This is why I was checking that I saved it. And then go into subassemblies. And now I can grab that. But now this... Ah, shoot. I missed the docking port. But now that docking port is the attachment point. We'll drop that in there. This is our Minmus Lab module. Okay, and then we're going to go new, switch over to the VAB, and build something that will get this where it needs to go. So we're going to start now with an Octo probe core, the Octo 2, which is my highest level one. There it is. And let's put... the 2.5 meter... No, that's the big one. The littler one. That one. Little service bay around it. This is just so I can attach a docking port on the top. And then I can grab my lab module and there we go. All right, we need to get that there. I'm not sure I'm going to use the mission to swap the crew. Zed's asking, are you going to use this mission to swap the crew? And I don't think I am, because I don't want to wait the 8 days for this to get out there with my crew at 50%, over 50% radiation exposure. So I'm kind of inclined to just, while this is on the way back, send... Sorry, I'm looking for reaction wheels. There we are. While this is on its way back, send my Kerbal. Well, this is on its way out to Minmus. I'm going to send the Kerbals back, so this will go. So it'll be uncrewed when this thing docks. And I'm not super happy about that, but I think that's the best plan. Now, I need to get this out there, and so I want some sort of a pusher vehicle. I'm going to need some fuel cans here. Let's see. I can be reasonably confident. Let's arrange these. Oh, they're already arranged by mass. Oh, that's a biggie. Okay, let's... I got a feeling this is pretty heavy, so... let's see. Now if I stick... I got a feeling a Terrier is not going to be enough. No. I want more thrust than that. Delta V is okay, though. What happens if I stick a Poodle on the bottom of this? Poodle engine. 2321. Yeah, that's around the delta V I'm looking for. Plenty of thrust. Kind of like this. Where's the different shapes? This one, I like that. I like that shape. Okay. All right, let's add in some more stuff. I need a KOS probe core. Minmus station won't be too giant. And everything that's there serves a function. Nothing's there without purpose. Okay, let's actually use some batteries to give something to stick things to here. Let's just stick in a battery like that, and I need RCS. RCS fuel. I don't need a lot. All it's got to do is dock, and that's going to be the end of it. These are my smallest one, the Stratus 5 minified tank. Can I sneak these in here? I sneak that on there, and just take that and rotate it. They're bulging out, but we will cheat. Clip those in a little bit. I'm comfortable with that. There we go. Okay, and delta V still okay, I think, yeah. And let's put on some thruster blocks. I think I'm gonna need the bigger ones, the ones that have the higher thrust. I guess that's these guys. Put on 4 of them down here towards the bottom. And another group up here towards the top somewhere. And then we'll use a Kerbal to remove these ones. And I'm going to use RCS Build Aid, which is a super duper helpful little mod here. And it tells you just how much torque you're producing and then what you can do. So right now, if I translate to the right, we end up with 1.46 kilonewton meters of torque. So I'm just going to grab these and move them. Oh, looks like they got to come downwards. Actually, I just realized too, most of this fuel will be gone. Right? 12, yeah, let's take out most of the fuel. That's the state in which it'll probably be docking in. It'll be using up most of this. Okay, so we're going to put them way up here. There we go. 0.001 kilonewtons of torque. That won't even be noticeable. We'll put the fuel back in. That will help with the docking, and now we can turn that off. Whew. Some more lighty lights. Doesn't need a lot. Oh, it's going to need communication. We'll deal with that too. These will be like amber or flashy lights. So I like my amber flashy lights. Put the blink on, yellow, but then tilt them just a little bit towards amber. There we go. Communication, it does need just a communitron will do. And it's going to need some form of solar generation too. Should be, oh, I think that will clip the doors. Yeah, so I'm gonna extend that antenna. That's no good. Want that to kind of slide out like that, but then when it's retracted, yeah, that's fine. Okay, and solar panels, and just you know, a little circle of aux stats will be fine. This thing's not going to use a lot of electricity. Not until there's Kerbals in there doing science, it won't be using a lot of electricity. So there we go, there we go, there we go, there we go. All right, let's go through my checklist. And I guess, is this a crude craft? Either way, fine print. I looked at the contract. Contract's just space. I got lots of yeah. It's just got to get this attached. I think that's okay. And it'll have control. It sure does. Yep. It'll have KOS probe core. I put it. Oh, I got to configure said KOS probe core. Up the disk space. Put in a boot file. While I'm thinking about it, I also should configure this unmanned experiments. This won't be doing any experiments. There we go. Cabin space has been configured. Food, water, oxygen. Nobody's on it right now. And there's stuff out there. Radiation protection. See, there we go. We're going to take this and we're going to up the shielding. That might take down our delta V, but up the shielding because the scientist is going to have to work in there. And that decreased our delta V. Okay, so now I got to think about adding on some more fuel. I need some more fuel because I just added a whole bunch of weight because of that. What if I just stick in one of these? Does that help? I would like this to be in around the 2250 range. Something in that sort of sphere. Shoot, I wish I thought about the shielding a little earlier. I'm also trying to keep this thing from getting too long in the tooth as it is. Okay, how about if I put on one of these on the bottom? That's more than enough fuel. Still tons of thrust. Of course, this is going to mess up. I'll move these thruster blocks. Now I'm going to have to do the RCS. I got to balance the RCS again. Let's take out a bunch of fuel because this thing will use up fuel on the way up there. RCS build aid. Okay, we're going to be moving these guys. Up, 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 up. There we go. That should be good. Put the fuel back in. To be honest, it might even have a little too much fuel, but we'll leave it like this for now. Okay. Radiation protection's now done. Science, it's not going to do any. Power generation's good. Electrical storage should be fine. Antenna strength is fine. Antenna speed is fine. Data storage is irrelevant. Propulsion it's got. RCS did that. Parachutes doesn't need. Thermal protection doesn't need. Lights I've done. Upgrades. How many ignitions are on this here poodle engine? 14 ignitions. This might be doing a fair. I'm gonna upgrade that poodle engine. Cargo. I've done the cargo it needs. TWR is fine. Okay, fairing and staging I still got to think about. Okay. Let's add on some struts. This is probably going to be a little bit on the wonky side. The way it is right now. That should be good. Just to stiffen up that connection. Okay. Now we got to think about fairing. I think I know what I'm going to do with the fairing in just a sec. But, oh, this is a Minmus lab module. All right. I'm thinking this is okay. Let's get rid of the checklist for now. Don't need to worry about that. I can bring down the delta V a little bit. There is a little bit too much fuel. Try and keep the mass as much forward as we can. 2250 be about, that's good. 2305 is fine. All right. Yeah, I think I'm pretty good. So let's think about this. So let's build a big fairing for this. I'm thinking of putting the fairing on the top and having the fairing come down to cover all this stuff. Actually, let's get, before I get any further, action groups on 0. I want to open those doors and toggle the antenna, and that's probably about it. Let's close the doors now. All right, let's get a fairing. And I'm going to go with a 2.5 meter fairing. Big fairing on the top. And I'm thinking just to come down like this. And then this will give me just closing it off like that. Clean that up like there. And then all we got to do on the top is a big arse nose cone. Like you. That should be aerodynamic. So when and then what I'll do is sneak in a couple of separatrons. That will be facing downwards. These will hardly need any fuel in them. Well, actually keep the fuel in them. Actually keep it all like that. It'll go off like a bat out of hell, but that's okay. And then we'll just slide these in. Hide them a little bit better. So the idea with these separatrons, let's get them right out of the whole staging area. And in fact, let's unstage this fairing too. Take the staging up. So the idea is when we get ready to stage is this decoupler will let go, the separatrons will fire, and the fairing will stage all at the same time. I might want to put that to a test. We're going to put that all on an action group. This is going to be action group number 5. So we're going to decouple that node. We're going to fire off these engines. Come on, let me get it. There it is. Activate the engines, and we're going to deploy the fairings. All on 5. I think that'll work. Save that. Put it there. And I think that should be reasonably. Let's up the ejection force and like 6 pieces to that shell in clamshell deploy. There we go. All right, now we got to get a rocket under this thing and lift it. So its total mass is almost 22 tons. Almost 22 tons of rocket here. I do have one here that can lift just over 19 tons. I got boosters I've not yet really you know, I could lift a lot more than I have. So these are mainsail engines, but I got bigger engines. I got the bores now, I think. I got doing pretty good. Okay, I want a total delta V, not counting the very... Oh, wait. Why? Oh, that's just, yeah, that's the separatrons at the top. Ignore that. Total delta V, well, 38, 39. Really? Yeah, this is way overkill. Way overkill. Right? Because it's about 1250 I'm giving myself to get the Minmus plus 3600. That's 4850, 49. And right here I got 55. This is way overkill. Let's scale down a little bit. But I think this is going to be way too small. Am I? Oh, wait. I can't trust that. I forgot. Oh, wait. No, this is a green. There's just no way this could do it. No, not quite. So what we're going to do, let's put this back on, but then we're going to scale it down. I'm going to take that off. Going to take off that. Whoops, not the whole engine, silly. Just that decoupler. And we're going to scale this rocket down. Maybe make ourselves a nice new booster in between. I want that one, I think. Yeah. There. Okay, and again, 49. I can lose quite a lot of fuel now. I got a feeling that if I lose the boosters, that will be just way too much. Yeah. So what I think I need to do is actually, we'll save time. I'm just going to start taking fuel out of these radio boosters. And oh, actually, no, the better place to take the fuel out is at the middle. Not that much fuel, though. Okay. No, I'm going to take him out of the side. This is not the most efficient rocket in the world, but that's okay. We're just going to take this out. This is a little overbuilt. But overbuilt is better than the other way around. I think this should be good. It's going to be a mean machine. Okay, thrust. Let's check all the staging first of all. All of these are going to go off at the bottom. We have some fuel lines here from a spare, and then we're going to let it go. And then these are going to stage. And then that's going to stage. Yep, okay, let's start adjusting thrust to weights. I need to put a little bit more thrust into these radio boosters. That should be good. When these let go, it's going to be at 2.63. So, yeah, 2.05 on that's probably not terrible. I think I might just leave it this way. I think I'm going to test it, though. What do you think? Oh, question came up from Franco. How do you select the entire vessel rather than a part? You hold the shift key, and then you end up grabbing the whole vessel rather than just a single part on the vessel. There is so many little hidden things like that in KSP. I would recommend any new KSP players to Google. Let me make this all. Sorry, I'm starting to play with things. To Google the I can say these words. The part list. The key. Oh my gosh. The key bindings. Google KSP key bindings. Get the whole list of key bindings. There are so many little shortcuts built into them, and many of them are not very obvious, and the game doesn't teach them to you. So I would definitely recommend that. Okay, I'm thinking I'm going to give this a test launch. I'm going to give this a test launch right now. So we're going to go into sim mode. And then we're going to send this off to Minmus. Off to Minmus we're going to go. Yeah. John is saying test with a question mark. I have not been testing. Oh my gosh. Run, launch, 680. This is just to test whether this launch is okay. I've not been testing uncrewed vessels of late, but also of late I've had uncrewed vessels kind of fail at launch and never really get out of the atmosphere. So I figure doing a test might be a prudent thing. I think sometimes I've wasted more time failing my launches than I have in what I would have in just testing them. Now, yeah, we got the whole wireframe happening here. It's the KRASH simulator, which allows you to simulate launches, which technically isn't really necessary because you can easily in the stock game just revert your flight back to the VAB and then say I'm going for now. But what I like about the KRASH simulator is that it nicely separates when you're flying, so that if something goes wrong when you're flying, you own it, rather than saying, oh, it'd be tempting just to say that was a test. Now this is definitely a test. And also it's charging me, right? I'm getting close to 3,200 Kerbucks and climbing for the cost of this simulation. Not a lot of money, but enough to make you sort of think about whether you want to do it or not. There are smart parts on this thing. I can kind of see them. The Zed's asking, what about smart parts? They are there. This is a fairly recent booster. It's the really old boosters that don't have smart parts on them. And I keep forgetting to resave those boosters. Okay, we're about to come out to the staging separation for these radio ones. Oh, we just nerfed thrust too. I really don't need a great big giant mainsail on this thing because look, like the thrust is down to... This thrust limiter is already close to 50% and I have it turned down... Ooh, where'd my wireframes go? Weird. And I have it turned down to almost a third thrust, so... This is way bigger of an engine than I need, but... I don't want to redesign everything. Because I'm lazy. Sun's coming up. Oh, maybe that's why the wireframing changed, just because the sun just came up. All right. And again, I might need more thrust. This is time to apoapsis is... Okay, locking the prograde, but time to apoapsis is shrinking quickly. We should... wonder why that's happening. I can recall having... Time to apoapsis is getting close to 35 seconds and dropping. And if that time to apoapsis gets down to 0, that means we start going down. I want this to start going up. Really should be higher thrust. Maybe I should be playing this thing manually. Oh, this is not going well. This is why we test. I'm going to see what happens. I think it might have not increased the thrust when it lost those radio boosters. I think is what happened. It's still not increasing the thrust. Now something's wrong. The script should automatically be increasing the thrust. And it's not. And we are on our way back to... I think this will fly, but I think the script is not... Maybe it's the asparagus staging the script doesn't like. Let's just test the fairings. That worked. See, I like that bit. But it should have a higher thrust. I can't increase the thrust while the script is... So what I'm going to do is we're going to terminate this. I think the script is not handling the thrust very well, and I don't know why, and I'm not going to debug code while we are... All this is fine, so we're just going to... Whoops. That one. We're going to save this. We're going to launch this for real. And I'm just going to do some of the flight by hand. I don't see what the problem with that is. I can fly. Nope, no passengers. That's for a tourist contract. Keeps going, you want to use this for your tourist contract? No, I don't think so. Okay, we're going to target Minmus. We are 2 hours and 24 minutes away from either the ascending or the descending node. Not surprising because we did just send a craft to Minmus, so the other one is half a day. That's nice. We'll get to the daylight. And this should be the ascending node, which means I should be launching towards the north. But we'll get ourselves close to it, and then we'll cut the time warp. Okay, there we go. And this is us here. Should really change that icon. And you can see we got to launch towards the north to be underneath Minmus's orbit. I always launch a few minutes ahead because it takes a few minutes to get up there. So we're going to launch 6 degrees towards the north because that's the inclination of Minmus's orbit. And put ourselves into an 80-kilometer orbit. Let's get ourselves a little closer. So what we're going to do is start this. I'm going to start the launch on the script so that it will get me pointing in the right direction and all that kind of stuff. Because it's really just the upper part, the upper atmosphere thrust that I think it doesn't do very well. And then I'm going to abort the script and I'm going to take over. All right, and this guy's looking good. Yeah, that's very good. Lead's asking, what about 1.12? I'm still in 1.11. Am I going to update for 1.12? The answer to that question is yes, I certainly plan to. I have just not gotten to doing that just yet. Okay, I am going to, if you just give me a moment, we're going to abort this with Control-C. That kills the throttle, so I got to come out here and hit Z again, and we're going to put on SAS and lock that to prograde real quick. So now it's me. I am flying this thing. I am flying it. I'm going to watch my time to apoapsis, and when I get down to around 45 seconds, I'm going to start reducing throttle, but I'm going to be control of the throttle, not the script. So the script has been aborted. It's all on me. Start reducing throttle a little bit. I like to just keep this, once I get around 45 seconds, try and just keep that time to apoapsis about a constant. You can see I did not reduce the throttles. Well, good. Now I probably have to increase throttle because we're just on a single engine now. Oh, not too much. And all I have this is locked on prograde, by the way. I'm not doing anything too fancy with that. Hopefully the inclination will sort itself out. There we go. That's pretty good. What's our inclination at? 6.2, so it's a little bit too far towards the south, but that's okay. Or towards the north, sorry. Again, reducing throttle some more. Just keeping that apoapsis just a little bit ahead of me. Much, much better. When will the asteroid hunting begin? Soon. I want to get some more nodes unlocked. That's why this is really just about science. And then once I get some more nodes unlocked, we're going to pick up some asteroid hunting missions. So probably in the next couple of streams, I would say. Maybe not next stream, but the one after that, I would say. Okay, I got to get ready to... Oh, no, this should stage automatically. There we go. And probably increase... No, don't have to increase throttle too much. Now it's on the Poodle engine. Funny, I feel like I'm really low, but I think I should be okay. Maybe I should increase throttle a little bit. I feel like I'm low and rather flamey. But I'm getting a lot of speed, and my periapsis should be getting up high too. So I think what I'm going to do at this point, I'm going to let it just kind of go. I'm not going to keep reducing throttle. Definitely keep that fairing on for a little while longer. It's because it's such a heavy rocket, it doesn't do that good a job. My periapsis is almost out of the atmosphere. My apoapsis is around 50 kilometers. So this is going to be very close to being a circle by the time I cut throttle here. There we go. I'll let it go a little past 80 because I know I'm going to lose some height on the way up. Time warp out of the atmosphere here. I'm going to just hang on to the fairing for just a little while longer now that we're not under thrust. Everything's good. It's going to be the T. I'm almost at orbital velocity already. Yeah, I think I'd be better without that mainsail at the bottom there, but well, it's okay. All right, let's lose the fairing here. Oh, I hit, yeah, the 5. I hit F5 instead of 5. We can put our lights on too. Actually, just put the lights on. Not a lot of lights. Almost out of the atmosphere. There we go, and we can run our circularization script. Circularize at Apoapsis. And we got a 41 meter per second burn to finish off this. And we can run our executor. Actually, what I should do is reduce this throttle a lot. This is like a 2-second burn. There we go. And we can deploy antennas and things. Yep, worked. Okay, it's getting ready for the final insertion. Time warp to that. Yeah, I think that central core booster should have been something like not a mainsail, but a skipper engine would have been a much better choice there. The mainsail was too heavy, and as in pointing out, it's not the best for a vacuum engine. But I just wanted to get going. I didn't want to fiddle too much with engines. But that booster would be better with a skipper in the middle rather than a mainsail. That's okay. Oh, are you blogging me? Oh my gosh. Well, that one wasn't my fault. And there's really not much I can do. This thing had a ton of ignitions on it. I even upgraded the engine, but there's always the chances of malfunctions. I am jinxed. I am jinxed with this thing. And my periapsis is at 38 kilometers, which is still healthily into the atmosphere. Well, I guess we get to watch some explosions. There's really not much. A Kerbal could fix this, but there's no way to get a Kerbal up here in time. Oh my gosh. Here. Wow. That did not go well. That's just the roll of the dice thing. There was nothing I could have done to prevent that. Kerbalism just every once in a while says, we're going to have an engine refuse to light. And that's what you get. So I got this now at full time warp. And it is at orbital velocity. So this should be some explosions. Oh, RCS! Oh, shoot! Oh my gosh, Zed. You are 100% right, but there's no way I can save it now. Zed says in the chat, isn't RCS enough to save it? And yep. There was RCS aboard. I probably could have gotten an orbit and then sent a Kerbal up and fixed this thing. Shoot! I abandoned this too quick, but there's not much to do about it now. Sorry about that. I do not think on the fly very well. Thinking, is that script still running? Is it? No. Shoot. Now we'll get a light show. Oh, RCS could have done it. It was so close to an orbit, I'm sure I could have pushed it up with just the RCS thrusters. Not thinking on the fly. Now, hopefully this won't fall on no one's house. Alright, that engine's getting plenty hot. But I suspect... I don't know. Nope. I don't think anything's going to blow off. That is crazy. I thought I'd get some explosions with this thing. Well, I will when it hits the ground, but... Oh, dear. Oh, that was disappointing. Even the explosion was disappointing. Okay. Yeah, we know. Okay, back to the Space Center we're going to go. Ah, RCS! I'm so mad at myself. Some poor farmer. It looked like we were in the desert, so I don't know. Maybe it wasn't. Okay, we're going to go back in here. Because I'm agreeing with what's been coming up in the chat that maybe the better plan... Not that this contributed to this failure, but maybe the better plan is to put a... replace this... Like I got a mainsail engine and replace it with... Should I bother? I think it makes more sense to put a skipper. Where are the skipper engines? Why am I... There's the skipper. You know what? No, I'm not going to bother. Let's just go. Launch. Let's just go. I could build a... Yeah, I don't care. That's not the reason this failed. So why waste time? I want to get this thing to Minmus before this is all done. I'm not sure I'll get there. Nope, no passengers, please. Okay. Again, targeting Minmus. We've got to go the 3 hours to our next launch window. And this time we'll be going to the south. All right, there we go. Run our launch, going 6 degrees to the south. Okay. And you know what? I think this time I won't reduce the thrust as much as I did last time. Not that I don't think the launch went fine. In fact, I think that was a very efficient launch. But I just want to get this over with quicker. I think it was a very efficient launch, but it took a long time to get to orbit. And then only to fail right at the end. So I'm gonna keep the thrust up a little higher this time and get up there quicker. That is the plan. But of course, we're still gonna let the script deal with the first part of this, get us kind of pointing in the right direction. Because it does a good job of that. It's just not handling the thrust part very well. Yeah, the launch was very efficient and very deficient at the same time. Very efficient launch right to the point where it crashed into the surface. Okay, I think I'm going to abort this. Go to here. Z. Whoa, shoot! Oh, for gosh sakes, I should have locked the program first. Oh, I got another engine failure! Oh, for goodness sakes! I know why that happened. Because these guys only have a single ignition, and when I cut... Oh my gosh! And the test went so well. I got an engine failure on that radio. See that? Oh, for gosh sakes. Ah! Oh my god. Now this is getting frustrating. This is turning into a very annoying pattern. Wow, that was a loud splash. My gosh. Well, that wasn't entirely luck on that one. Actually, it was probably more, I think about it, luck that it did so well the first time, because I'm pretty sure... Here, and I'll get myself back into the VAB. Yeah, this is a Monday. Felix is saying, this feels like a Monday. It sure as heck does. Okay, I'm gonna go to here. It's 1957 all over again. Oh my gosh. The problem with the mainsails is they're not really designed to be ignited and then reignited. You can see here they have only one ignition. What I think I shall do... yeah. Because this is asking for I'm going to take this out. We're going to put a skipper in the middle. Well, I think that should be enough thrust on the middle part. And we're going to up the thrust here now because we have to. So it's going to go through those quicker. There. And we can take out more of this fuel. All right, okay. Again, just play a little bit with a thrust. There. You know what? I don't think that is enough. I'm going to go back to the mainsail again. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to up the quality of that middle motor. Engine standard to high. Put the fuel back that I took out just now. Good. And sorry, just got to put this thrust limiter back to probably around where it was. Yeah, the skipper's not quite... Oh shoot, this is way too high now. Should be just control Zing all this. More thrust there. There. That's feeling better. I'm going to put more thrust on. I think part of the issue is there's too little thrust in that bottom end. Oh, all these engines should be on at the same time. The staging's wrong. Oh, I'm just introducing more and more things to go wrong. There. Sorry, I got to check the staging. The staging was wrong with that engine switch. There. There. 5029. It's all there. 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 That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. I really want to get this done. Yeah. Saving. All right, launching. Hopefully for the last time. No, you know, like, yeah, I could have, asked just reopen the save. I could have really just reverted back to launch and done with these engine failures. But to be honest, I'm putting Kerbalism to deal with those kind of things. So if I'm not going to live with engine failures, I mean, I could disable that feature in Kerbalism easy enough. That kind of defeats the whole purpose of this, I think. All right. This is the one. This is the one. I mean it this time. Minmus, I think we're close. We're going to launch. I think we're close enough to doing it. Launch. Did I go to the south? Ah! Going to Minmus, launching to the south. Yes. I think we're close enough to our launch window because of that one didn't go very far. -6, 80. Okay, this is it. This is it. This is the one. Come on. And I upped the thrust on this core stage. So there's less thrust now on these ones and more thrust on this one. And I think that will actually help. Maybe the script will do a better job now. Don't forget you have RCS. Yes, if I get that fail right at the top end, that was a weird fail because although these engines at the bottom don't have many ignitions, that Poodle engine, it has 26 ignitions, so that was a very unlikely thing to have happened to have that Poodle engine fail. It's designed as an orbital engine. It should be more reliable than that. That was just flat out bad luck. All right, I'm going to let the script take over for longer now. I'm going to at least let these radial boosters go before I relight, or if I take over from the script, so that I don't have to worry about at least them failing. But I'm going to keep a very close eye on my time to Apple absence, get ready to take control if it needs to happen. But maybe now that this has got more thrust in the middle, maybe it'll do a better job. Okay, I think it knocks back the thrust at... Well, I think I'm going to lose my radial boosters first. That's okay. Nope, there goes the thrust limiter. There goes the radial boosters. And I'm watching that time to apoapsis, and I'm going to, if it gets close to 45 seconds, which I think is likely, I'm going to take control. I think it actually, yeah, I'm going to take control. Assuming control. So, Control C, Z, T, lock to prograde. Now reduce throttle. All right. I'm wondering if what's messing up the script. I'm just thinking about how I'm the one that wrote the script, so I'm just thinking about what might be messing it up. Is how close the throttle reducing and that stage separation are together. And there is a sort of 1 second delay in the script between. It might be missing to re-increase the throttle after it stages those radial boosters. It feels like it's not doing that. All right. Back in the saddle. Back in the saddle again. This is far, far less flamey, too. Much, much, much more normal looking. All right. I'm just going to let this ride. Oh, yeah, that's good. That's supposed to happen. We got to increase the throttle a bit because we're on that weaker Poodle engine. And I think I'm going to release the fairing. Nicey nice. And yep, we're just going to let this go. Hopefully we won't come back and hit our nose cone, but I don't think so. The nose cone should go below us. Right? Right? Oh, that nose cone's still getting away on us. All right. 60 kilometers on the apoapsis. I'm just letting this go right now. Oh, still going to be a nice insertion. Okay, just cracked 80 kilometers. Let's put the lights on. Time warp out of the atmosphere. What's our inclination at? 6 degrees on to button. Can't complain about that. Sun's coming up. I got me a good feeling. I actually have to give a little bit more throttle. Just a little bit, still too low. There. But again, it's going to be a very, very tiny final insertion. Periapsis is at 35 kilometers. This time, if the engine fails, I'll remember. I'll remember I got RCS, but it shouldn't. Shouldn't fail. Shouldn't have failed last time, frankly. Yeah, I'll toggle that antenna in a second. There we go. So we're going to run circularization at apoapsis. There we go. We will run. Again, we're going to lower this thrust limiter. Run that maneuver executor. And we'll hit 0 to toggle the antenna. There goes the antenna. 39 meter per second burn to finish this all off, so barely anything. About a minute away from the burn, and then oh, I should have just time warped to the burn. Why did I do that manually? I don't know. Sometimes I don't know why I do things. Well, thank you. Is it Nivag? Can I say that? Who says he's just getting back into KSP again? I wish you luck, and I hope that you can enjoy it even a tiny fraction as much as I do. All right, the engine lit. How about that? Okay, we are in an orbit. I'm calling it. Let's run that align. And let's get ourselves to Minmus. Okay, this is looking much more promising. Turn that off. Actually, let's keep the stations on. That's the station around Kerbin, because I'm going to switch. Oh no, let's turn them. No, keep it on because we got to get to Minmus station. Where is Minmus, by the way? I'm looking all around the wrong way. There we go. Okay. Focusing our view on Minmus. And maybe a little bit more. There we go. Now, of course, what we got to do is we have to rendezvous with the station. So there's the station. I'm going to switch it to that as our target. So set that as a target. And let's see what we're like coming in. We might be all right. We might not be. So we got a 38 degree inclination difference. I can wait for us to go around Kerbin a few more times and bring that angle down, but I'm really flat out too lazy. The station's coming around towards the south here as we come in this way, so we are on the side we want to be on. I'm inclined just to kind of go with it right now. And we'll have to make some sort of a tiny little change here. Honestly, it's looking pretty good. We'll have to make about a 39 degree plane change. But I'm perfectly cool with that. This thing has extra fuel, 1,810 meters per second, which is way over the budget. Again, I think that was a pretty efficient launch. Thrust there. Run that. Oh, that's right. Do that. Why are you being this way? Doesn't want me to end this. Okay, we'll have to... Stuck in some sort of loop. My programming skills, I'll be honest, leave a bit to be desired. Okay, let's get to this burn. There are all kinds of KOS scripts out there too for people to download. I just want to use my own because I'm a masochist, I think. Okay. Run that executor. Why are you like this? There. I love that my inclination has got very... Yeah. If anything, we just launched a little late because of all of our shenanigans. But hopefully those shenanigans are now in the past. Time warp a little bit closer. Am I sure about that orbital direction, says Sajad? Am I saying that right? Well, now that you mention it, I will check that again on that orbital direction. I think I got the I think I got the orbital direction right because the inclination difference was only 39 degrees. But I will check it again because that's the last thing you want to come in on the orbital direction wrong and have to like basically do a 180. That's always bad. I'm hoping all the rest of this, though, is going to be uneventful. Okay, well, hi, Robert, and thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying my videos. Came back for KSP 2, but now I guess is in KSP 1. All right. Oh, I should actually look. How did this turn out? Again, a little bit short, but that's okay. I'm comfortable with short. I'm going to reduce that throttle. And book. I'm perfectly fine with that. I think I got this direction right. We're coming in. There's our Minmus escape. So we're coming in this way towards the south. And there's the station going around towards the same direction as us. No, we're coming on the right side of Minmus. We're doing this. It's going fine. I do need to make, obviously, some form of correction here. A little bit to the north. But not much to the north. Always love how little difference the exact timing of this makes. It's never that big a deal there. That's close enough. Okay, let's tweak this in nice and close. Not that I'll be ever able to burn it this precisely, but one can always dream. Okay. So, yeah, that's that. That burn, again, is way, way, way short. So let's run burn times points. Oh my God, I think I got to put in 0.5. Even at 0.5, you know what? I'm not going to do this. I'm going to do this with RCS. That burn. There's no way I'm doing that with the main engine. Let's put that throttle back up. Even at the throttle at 0.5, it was only like a couple seconds. So we'll just do some puffs with the RCS. That should do it. We're going to run our alignment thingy again. But I think what I shall do, here, let's open up alarm clock. We'll give ourselves a few minutes warning on this. That's coming up in 1 day, 3 hours, and 59 minutes. And I'm thinking, looking at the time, I'm not going to be getting to putting this onto the station by the time I'm kind of towards the end of this. But what I want to do, well, actually, number one thing I want to do is I want to rename this if I can. And get this to be a station part. Come on. There it is. Where's rename? Rename the vessel. This is a space station. But what I also want to do is jump out to Minmus Station. I want to check on Michael and Bob. Because quite frankly, they might be glowing just a little bit. So let's go out to there. And we'll get them on their way back. Okay. So here is Minmus Station. And as I was pointing out towards the beginning of this stream, they are at over 50% of a lethal dose of radiation. So what they need to do, even though I upped the shielding on this and everything, but I guess I just didn't give them enough. So what we're going to do is we're going to head them back. Now, they are launching at pretty much the absolute wrong time. If you want to leave Minmus and you're in a polar orbit about Minmus, you are better off leaving when the plane of the orbit that you're in is parallel to Minmus's orbit around Kerbin. And I think what I'm going to do is right from here, we'll start doing some time warping, but I'm thinking I'm going to want to, let's focus our view on Minmus. See, as you time warp, oh, got some site experiments coming in. As you time warp, you can see this. Oh, I think I got this angle's changing as Minmus goes around. I want to watch their radiation. They're still at 52 and 53, so maybe all that happened. Remember we had that adventure with, let's jump to, we're going back to the Minmus lab. Remember I had that adventure with Michael? Maybe that's where all that radiation happened, when Michael was floating free for a little while. All right. So, let's do this. So, we're going to put this right onto the oh, wait, I got a button for that. Normal vector. And we're going to look at this from Minmus's perspective, which is right here. Come on. Why won't it let me focus my view on Minmus? Because there's too much junk. There we go. So all I want to do is bring this up to here. And I'm just going to put on RCS. We're just going to do this way. So, yeah, it's not going to take much. And then I'm not wasting precious ignitions. That was too much. Come back. There, that's pretty good. Let's close that. RCS off. Sure. Okay. Let's add on an alarm for that SOI change. That's coming up in 6 days. Of course, Minmus 5C will get there first because we launched it first. Let's get back to Minmus Station and see if we can not still send these folks along. I just want to leave at the right time. You know, I've been asking about the plot. Robert's asking me about clock mechanics when it comes to other games. He's mentioning Mars Horizons. I kind of got bored of Mars Horizons after a while, so I guess that kind of says something. I'm kind of funny because I like structure, but not too much structure. I like, whoa, that's too much. I like to have objectives, but I like to be able to accomplish those objectives in the way I see fit. I'm hoping that sort of makes sense. And I found with something like Mars Horizons, I just found I was a little bit too locked into what to unlock next, where to go next. I know there were a couple of different paths, but I still felt too confined. So I'm not sure if that's what you're asking, Robert. Oh, I'm getting another warning here. Now, how are their radiation doing? Oh, it's a little higher now, 56, 57%. Okay, we are at the Minmus 5C. Again, I'm waiting for the plane of this orbit to be parallel to... It's pretty close, but it's looking like I'm going to be dealing with other things first. Okay, so let's get to the Minmus 5C. Turn alarm clock off. Too many things happening. Jump. Go. Oh, with the clock mechanic like Kerbal Construction Time, I think I misinterpreted Robert's question. I actually love Kerbal Construction Time. I'm a huge fan of it. And I would absolutely have it in my stream, except for the fact that I find it makes the missions more confusing as I'm jumping from... Oh, look at that orbital path. That's beautiful. As I jump from place to place. Okay, we're gonna capture this. We're gonna do this. So this is the Minmus 5C. This is what we started with. This is a lander and then a return vehicle on the top. And yeah, 10 kilometers above Minmus's surface there. I think that's great. So run, and what am I running? Circularize at periapsis is what I'm running. Yeah, I like having to balance time and all of that kind of stuff. So we got 158 meter per second burn coming up. We up that throttle, 10-second burn, maybe a little less. Okay. All right, let's get ourselves to Minmus. There's Minmus down there. Get ourselves to that burn. You know what? Maybe we'll get this down. Let's get this down to the surface. Let's make that our final objective here today. Got a lot of things going on, but let's accomplish something, hopefully, and get this down onto the surface, and then we'll call it a stream. So we're going here for our capture. We're in a pretty close to polar orbit. Our inclination is 95.2 degrees. So we'll have lots of choices of biomes. And once again, I'd like to land in a biome I have not yet landed in, because there are science equipment on here that would benefit from that. Okay, where are we at? About 15 seconds to the burn. A little time warping here. But in my own personal games, I would definitely play with Kerbal Construction Time. Look at that engine gimbling back and forth. Like it might be overcorrecting just a smidge. All right. And down we go. Okay. Yeah, sure. 10 by 10. That's perfectly cool. Okay. I'm going to run... Again, our alignment script, and we'll start thinking about, let's get out ScanSat map. How is our mapping going? I do not have this map in the best places, and it's very slowly progressing through. It's showing here our orbit, and what I want to do is land somewhere I've not landed before. Maybe I should open up the Kerbalism Science-y menu here. And if I select something like just like a temperature scan and get the Minmus, I can see what I have and have not done. So here you can see I've done highlands, midlands, lowlands, great flats, greater flats, and lesser flats. So I'd like to go someplace else. So let's see where our orbit's taking us over. So those are midlands, midlands. These are lowlands. This is poles. That might, given us our polar orbit, that seems like a sensible target. More midlands. Highlands, I've got highlands, right? Coming along here, lowlands. It's telling me down to the bottom, by the way, as I hover the mouse over it. Lowlands, lowlands, and unknown. Midlands. Let's go for the poles. We're going to go for a polar landing. We're going to try and put this down onto, coming around this way. Let's just, oh, it's nice and dark. I'm in the mood. You know what? I think it'd be better to go for the... I'm just the way our orbit is, like, it is 5 degrees off from 90 degrees, and it seems to be tilted a little this way. So it looks like I got a little bit of sun on the North Pole, but pretty dark when I'm coming over the South Pole. So what I think I'm going to do is go for the North Pole here. So we shall do that. I don't think I need KOS anymore. We're going to close this little window here, clear our screens, let's time warp, and we're going to start our descent burn around here someplace. Get this down on the surface. Get her done, as it were. What we got some sort of contract there to do some stuff. I got a rover contract or something. Something for the future still. Always things for the future. Okay. Let's go about here. So put that on retrograde. Okay, and we are going to, I'm thinking just around here. Looks like I do have some sunlight up there. So that's what I'm going to do. Want to keep that cut. I think so. A little bit more. There we go. How many ignitions on this? Still 35 ignitions, so we're fine that way. And here, let's descend. Actually, no, we can just keep it on retrograde. I don't know why I'm worried about that. Let's do this. Put the view on free, because it's always... I don't know about you, but when the ground is below me, I find it's easier. I'm being asked, why don't you use waterfall? I gotta be honest, I'm not 100% sure what waterfall is. Okay, I would love to get a little bit of sunshine. Some sunshine would be nice before we... On the ground, that is. We've got the sun over there, of course. Minmus state. Okay, here we comes. So these are still midlands. I want poles. And last time I tried to land some kerbals in the poles, and I overshot and went past the poles because I was getting really picky about my landing spot. And this time I don't want to do that. I want, as soon as I see poles, I'm going to hit those retros and we're going to drop. Thank you, Cooper. Thank you, Cooper, for the kind donation. Thank you for making great and educational content. You're very, very welcome. We are over the poles, my friends. We are over the poles, and we are now going to do this. We're just gonna, I'm just gonna go right here and just punch this. We're gonna kill off our horizontal velocity. We're just gonna drop straight down. It all looks pleasant below us. I got lots of fuel, so there's really not a need for efficiency and all this. So I just basically just hit retrograde until I saw that retrograde vector go. Burned retrograde until that retrograde vector was pretty much going, and we're just going to go down. There we go. Gonna drop this down to the surface, collect us some stuff, And then we're going to call this. Falling ever so slowly. It's more efficient not to do that whole, like, kill all your horizontal velocity and then drop straight down. It is better and cheaper to come in more at an angle, but I want to get this done, and I have so much fuel it doesn't really matter. Okay. So now I got to not botch this. About 800 meters from the surface. Let's start slowing down a little bit. A little bit more. Bring that retrograde icon up towards the top. Going straight down now. It's about a little bit of throttle, which is not bad because I actually meant to kill it, but I didn't quite kill it, but that's okay. So I'm still not using up ignitions. Actually give a little bit of throttle here. Here, let's put on the cap lock. Okay, coming in nicely and slowly. Don't know where my shadow is, but we're coming in, I think, pretty good. Let's a little bit more throttle. And boom. Okay, no, don't you even think about it. There's not a lot of reaction wheels on this. Oh, come back. Okay, it's a little bit more tilted than I thought it was here, but we're there. We're down. Okay, if I turn off reaction wheels, will it not? It's, yeah, this is a kind of a tall thing. Okay, so let's turn on stuff. So materials bay on. Mystery goo on. Oh, and fuel cell on, because I need that to run. The materials bay in particular uses a ton of electricity. I am out of storage space already. Wow, I didn't do very well with that, did I? I've used up all my storage space. This is a really ill-conceived thing. Whatever, I don't care. Oh! It thinks I've already done a materials bay. It does. Because I have done it in the past before, and I botched it. So what I'm going to do, if we go to info, I got to go force run. And I also got to force run. Yep. And the reason for that is the predecessor to this did successfully do a materials bay and a mystery goo. Force run. And whoops. There. It did do a materials bay and a mystery goo. And then the top half left, but the bottom half stayed. It's still sitting on the surface there. So obviously Kerbalism thinks I've done that. And it's just waiting for it to come back to Kerbin. So it gives you this nice force run feature for this type of situation where you can force it to run anyway. And I just got to run it until these percentages get to 200%. So I've done a second one. Time warp a little bit quicker. Okay, the mystery goo is just about done. Whoa, don't like those bounces. Okay, sorry, mystery goo is done, so we can stop that. But the materials bay still got more to do, so we'll do again a little bit more time warping. It's at 153%, got to get it to 200%. And 190. 200%. Okay, stop that. Close that. Again, don't you think about falling over. Okay, so we've done our materials bay. So what we're going to do is we're going to collect all of our data. Where's the transfer data up to here? So our samples are now stored up here. If I go to the stuff we've collected, see, it's all stored up there. And now what we got to do is take this part off. Now, if you recall, last time the staging, and I had the staging right. But it staged the decoupler that's right here, which separates the little return capsule for going through the atmosphere. It staged that instead of staging this decoupler down here. And I got very, very angry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quick save there in case this goes wrong. I'm not going to mess with the staging. This staging is right. It's going to do that decoupler and that engine. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this thrust limiter right down to 0. So now I can throttle up safely. Let's put on SAS. Throttle up safely. And now if I hit the space bar, these little ants should fire without any... Now, which way do I want to go? I guess I got to go into a polar orbit. It really doesn't matter which way I go because I'm on the pole. Oh, yes, it does. Ooh, 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 ooh. I want to go... I don't know which way. I want to go along the Terminator. No, I don't. I want to go that way, or either way, parallel to this. That'd be the best plan. How can I figure out what way that is? If I put it on... No. I don't know which way this way is. Like it wouldn't be... No, it's not east. Okay, I'm really sort of... Oh, what a problem. Eric, if I scroll out, I can see probably night. There. I want to go into the dark here a little bit. Where's Kerbin? Kerbin's that way. So if I face Kerbin and go a little bit, I go to the left and go a little bit past the Terminator. Oh, this might not make any sense. I might be just completely botching this. So if I face Kerbin, I want to go this way. We'll see how this goes. Now, I don't know which way that way is on the nav ball. No idea. Okay, I'm going to quick save one more time because I really think I'm going to botch this. Okay, throttle's up. That antenna's up. Okay, let's just engage and go. Oh, shoot. Wrong one. There we go. I want to go this way. Like that. I think. Oh my gosh. That's too much thrust on these engines for poor little Minmus. Okay, our apoapsis is already at 10 kilometers. Am I more or less going the way I want? I don't think I did bad. I want to go a little bit more to the right when I get up to apoapsis. I want to go a little bit more this way. A little bit more northwards. That was funny. Hey, but this thing is together and going in the right direction. Should have changed the control point just before I did that. I want to come this way a little bit more. And we'll do a bit of an inclination change at the same time. Okay, how far are we from apoapsis? 2 minutes and something. I'm not sure I'm making any sense, but this thing has a... Well, I don't know if it has a lot of fuel. I should have stole some more fuel from the base. It doesn't need it anymore. Tell from the camera we're coming over the poles. About a minute from apoapsis. Alright. Let's see. I'm not sure if what I'm doing is smart, but... 'tis what it is. Okay, we're going to just get close to apoapsis and we're going to circularize this. And we're doing an inclination change at the same time. Okay, we're about 20 seconds from apoapsis. Let's... Oh, what the heck? Something blew up. Shut down this engine. We're on 2. Oh my gosh, this thing. Kerbalism, I hate you. I hate you so much. You're just mean. So, this one engine flat out exploded when I throttled up there. So I just very quickly shut off its opposite engine so my thrust is still balanced. Thankfully 2 of these is enough. Oh my gosh. And I'm circularizing while doing an inclination change at the same time. I need about 180, 190 to get back to Kerbin. I think I'm going to be fine that way. Oh, whoa, whoa, overdid it. Let's see, what's my final orbit like? I'm right along the Terminator. That's all right. I was shooting for this orbit to be parallel to that. Okay, let's get ourselves back to Kerbin. Wow, the stupid ant engines. And how many ant engines? They still have 75 ignitions. Why did that one explode, you stinker? Oh my gosh. Okay, let's get ourselves back to Kerbin. I'm really eager to just at least prove that. Oh yeah, we got this. We got this. We got this. Let's go back to here. Here. There. Maneuver. There we go. Get this around 35 kilometers. Let's play with the timing a little bit. There we go. That's 34.3 kilometers. 35 kilometers there. 167 meters per second. We've got 264 meters per second left in the vehicle. I'm not going to bother tweaking this any more finer than it is. I think it is fine. My solar panels are fine, right? I'm still generating electricity. Yep. I do have all my data. I didn't leave that down on the surface. That would be bad. Okay, let's get to this maneuver. I think I still got my KOS script in this guy too. I do. Okay, a 48-second burn because of lack of engine tude. So which one? I shut this one down. Yeah. So we're going to keep that shut down. Okay, let's get to the burn. Oh, it's a 48-second burn. The burn is 44 minutes away. Okay. Oh my gosh, this thing's had adventures, but this should hopefully be the last burn that it needs. We're down to just 2 engines. The last bit of staging is just to stage the parachute and this decoupler at the top for this return capsule to come back. That should be the easy part. I can't believe the ant engine exploded and it still has 75 ignite. Kerbalism's just deciding it's gonna mess with me today. Multiple the ant engine exploding ensures multiple history channels. I'm glad though, I actually put on 4-way symmetry on these ant engines specifically because one of them failing, I can always turn off the opposite one rather than 3-way symmetry. It actually does have more thrust than it needs. But we are off. We are leaving Minmus behind. And as soon as I see that I got my periapsis down into Kerbin's atmosphere, I think really this thing is done. Oh my gosh. Let's look at it from out here. We're gonna end early again, are you? Bet you are. Oh, I love that. 34.357 kilometers. I'm perfectly happy with that. I'm not touching a bloody thing. I'm gonna line this again for the solar panels, and we'll set an alarm. Add an alarm for when we leave Minmus's SOI, which is just coming up in a few hours. But you know what? As this thing roars itself away from Minmus, I'm thinking with at least now a monicum of success behind my belt. I'm thinking this thing is going, we'll watch it descend through Kerbin's atmosphere on Thursday. Also on Thursday, we got our station module coming to Minmus Station. Still got to get Bob and Michael back to Kerbin safely, but I think all of that is going to have to be for Thursday. So I'm going to thank you all for watching and hope to see you then. Bye, everybody.